Good evening. This is another edition of One-on-One with OtunbaHOO. This program, One-on-One on OtunbaHOO, is usually comes up on every Tuesdays. We have decided to move One-on-One to Monday evening due to some structural adjustment, some kind of changes we are contemplating in Heritage TV UK, and you will always be informed, our viewers. We will always update you whatever we are doing, and whenever we change or do anything. But these changes taking place is not going to last for too long, because I said we have different ideas, different things we are working on, all to make you happy, all to make you understand that it's always going to be your program. You are the beneficiary of whatever we do. Tonight, I'm having a guest whom I've known for some time now, a couple of years, I must say. And before the program, began, I was trying to find out exactly the difference between reverend and pastor. He's a reverend. I know the common one would be a man of God that I know. He's one person I have interacted many times. He has come on a program on other television stations where I'm prominently known there, and we have also exchanged ideas politically, economically, socially, and culturally, and so on and so forth. So I'm very happy to welcome my guest tonight. He is, do I say Reverend?
Well,
Reverend
yeah.
Cyril Okere.
Thank you.
Now, and generally, I mean, some people will say, so Otunba doesn't know the difference between Reverend and I generally would not rest until when, because a lot of people do not know the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, many people will just say, Reverend, Bishop, and then, which one is which one is higher? Is it the bishop, Reverend, or pastor?
You're
it's more like so. Let us.
Oh my God! You're going into some kind of landmine or kind of minefield there. Even within the Christian world, ecclesiastical world, is not very clear. Some denominations, they see it in hierarchical terms. They see that, okay, you're a pastor, and then other people who are ordained in your ministry, they refer them as reverend and all that. Of course, there are other levels also, like deacons and all that. But generically, I mean, across the board, if you're ordained into the ministry, you are addressed as reverend. That a reverend can be a pastor depending on the office, the nature of their ministry. Could be an evangelist, could be a teacher, and so on and so forth. And that's the kind of thing, that's my own kind of, my designation falls within that.
So you like to be called a reverend, or just...
I like to be called Cyril. But in terms of, yes, my recognition as an ordained minister, yes, the title reverend is appropriate. Some people say pastor because, yes, okay, part of it also, we extend pastoral care to the people to people that we are sent to minister to. So yes, someone say Pastor Cyril, I would not.
You not be offended.
No, I'm not offended. It's still apt, but more appropriately, Reverend, which is more generic.
Right. Again, I want to start by thanking you again for coming, and I also want to seize this opportunity to our viewers all over the place, and that this is a program that we want you to share with friends and family, and you can use many methods of doing that. You can do that via the popular one, Facebook. You can do the Facebook. You can do what Twitter. You can do WhatsApp. You can do the YouTube. You can also Periscope. You can do our website. You can also do Insta. Yeah, now our app is up and running, and Instagram, all this. Even though sometimes some of these latest innovation in media came too late for somebody like me, because
you're doing well, Otunba.
Because sometimes when you mention all these things, I still have to rely help of my children, or I say, please, can you help me say this and so on and so on. Instagram, I must be honest with you, I'm yet to start using it.
No, I've never, I don't even understand.
So I'm not alone. I'm not
the
one.
No, you're not.
So help us do all this in order to spread, just to make this program widely seen all over the place. You know, the reason being, whatever we do on all the programs on our TV station here is about you. It's about to teach people. It's about to disseminate information that will help you. It's not for any commercial purposes or anything. It's just all information. Because when you look at the mirage, the problem facing our country, it's a lot of people that say, had they been, these people know what they are doing. Had they been, they know, or had they been, they have teachers.
Yes.
Even though people say the teacher will come when these people are ready, when the students are ready.
Yeah,
but again, I want to see some of us who are doing this business of media, something, to be the teachers. We should I think it's incumbent on us that we should be teaching our people. Having said that, tonight I'll be rubbing mind with Reverend. I have to be very cautious here. I want to rub mind with Reverend Cyril Okere. Like I said, he's a political analyst in his own right, and he's done very well in many other areas I've met him. Tonight, there are trending issues in the polity,
right,
and that is in Nigeria, where the latest couple of latest, one is positive and negative. Let's talk about which one do you want us to go for? Is it the negative, then we go to negative, or positive, or the positive?
Just choose one.
Yeah. Okay. let's talk about the positive one. The positive one for me is I would take a bombshell that the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, decided to remove the embargo on the result of June 12th.
Right.
Even though the House of Senate or the National Assembly are now even going further to say, well, look, let us the volume, the result, release the result to the whole world, and let us see exactly what I'm talking about. What are your immediate thoughts about the decision of the president?
Yeah, incidentally, the day before this happened, the announcement came, I was just thinking about, within myself, just, my private thoughts, just saying, why can't somebody just, take that step and recognize June 12th as a Democracy Day, and of course with the concomitant issues, Abiola as presumed, well, some people say we should not say presumed, but Abiola's victory in that election. I thought about it, and lo and behold, the next day I heard that. My immediate reaction was right. Okay, Buhari has done it. I commend him, and I commended him, but I also know that there are several issues that would be unpicked from that decision. I commend him in the sense that uh, some people have argued about his motive. I don't trust any politician. Okay, the motive is generally to win election, and I know that this was not done out of any sense of piety. It was done. Okay, I don't want to judge the inner workings of his heart, but obviously it was a political masterstroke. Yes.
Political masterstroke.
Yes, he did that, and he did that when something like let's just face it, the goodwill that he inherited or that he rode on when he was elected, or even before that, and after the election, is somehow on the wane. So he needed to do something. Fine, he did this, and I don't begrudge him for doing it. Now, those who are more educated than me, some people are more some legal minds, they now raise some other issues, which is fine. Now, a lot of Nigerians before now, they campaign about June 12th. People campaign every year. The people kick up dust regarding June 12th. Now he's done it. Whatever his reason for doing it is not for me to judge, but it is done. I'm happy it was done. Yes, other people are raising other issues, other concerns, and those also all those things also should also be taken on board as we iron out this issue. I don't know how far I will say that this has corrected the injustice, the historical injustice. But it's good that it's been the issue has been resurrected, and for
which
what
is the bottom line of everything.
Which is the bottom line, yes. Okay, the Senate are saying that they should go further and declare MKO as the official, to formally declare him as the winner of that election. And of course, the process has its own, as we say in Nigeria, K-leg. The process has its own twist and turn. But I think what is necessary now is that we should in Nigeria learn to calm down and take things make it painstakingly and untie all the tangles, to unknot all the tangles and all the knots, to undo the knots, because our nation had been like we are caught up, we are mired in a lot of issues, some things from past, and so when we begin to disentangle them, it takes time. We need to learn to relax our psychology, relax our temperament, and begin to look at those issues, and no matter how naughty, begin to undo them gradually without too much heat. And I think we should do so in this regard as well.
Thank you. The other thing is we have a situation in Nigeria that I'm not too sure how many places, apart from people who try to rig election, they will try to rig election, and in the process, well, swap winner for loser, which happened a lot in some of the other African countries. In fact, most of the African countries and some other South or developing countries all over the world. But what bothers people like me, someone like me, is this was a real completed election.
Yeah.
The whole world saw the figure towering on the screen.
Yeah.
Because I remember very well, I was in Nigeria.
You were in Nigeria then?
And I remember very well that the result of vote across the boundary across the country, for Abiola was showing about 28 million. I'm just, and for Tuba was less than 4 million, something like that. So that result was annulled. I think it was a kind of a slap. It was a kind of doing what not supposed to have been done by anybody. But here we are. All these are history now.
Yeah.
So for me, that the present president now come around and say, well, before me, there were 3 presidents that did not do anything about it. Because the idea of injustice to correct, to bring justice. Injustice is negative. Injustice cannot be something good for anybody. Because if you feel you have been wronged, you know, your immediate wish would be to be right.
Yeah.
So, but let's move further. There's also different, like Riley said, there are many other things that goes with this problem. Now, one of them is some people are now saying, here we have his deputy who abandoned the struggle while he was still, like, you know, asking for actualization of the mandate.
Yeah.
You know, do you think he should be awarded? He should be rewarded for abandoning it? Even though also there are also lists of people, which you and I know, like the human rights lawyer. There are many people who it wasn't a one-man package. There are many people, and most of these people suffer different, you know, categories of whatever, you know, misplacement. Some of them ran away. Some of them were like they lose their property and so on and so forth. Having said all this, I want to know from you that do you think immortalizing Abiola, who is dead now, even though I don't want to go into people saying because he's dead, he should not be seen as in Nigeria.
Yeah,
but the very important question now is, should we be thinking of immortalizing and have Abiola Day like that of Martin Luther King Day, or should we use the June 12th as Democracy Day? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer using June 12th as Democracy Day because, as you said, a lot of people suffered. Yes, MK Abiola died. The wife, unfortunately,
one of the wives
killed. Some other people were killed. Some other people suffered different kind of injury, deprivations and all that. So, in order not to personalize it too much, I understand that Abiola was the arrowhead, was the metaphor for whatever June 12 represented, was the icon. So for that reason, we recognize him, yeah, you know. But in terms of what June 12 stands for, it's bigger than Abiola. It's more than that. Therefore, I would not subscribe to designating the day as Abiola's Day. I would prefer it as, to be known as Democracy Day, because there are wider issues than just the man Abiola.
But then there's this judging from the way we operate, business of governance in Nigeria. If another president then comes around, unless otherwise this is legislated upon, and that's why I think if I want to go your way, so we should be suggesting here that the president should also not only declaring the, you know, but it also work with the legislators.
Exactly.
And say, you know what, put it in the system, gazette it.
Exactly.
That's you know, forever and ever. You know, unless otherwise, also majority is so, because you know the way we operate.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So well, I'm not supposed to have any direct opinion now. That's why I put the 2 options to you.
Yeah.
Now let's move to some other area, which I have no doubt in my mind is also trending. Also part of Abiola saga. He was awarded posthumously the GCFR, the highest honor that can be bestowed on anybody, and usually is reserved for the #1 citizens of the country. But you will agree with me that that is not a new thing. Awolowo got it. He was never a president, and Abacha was also awarded posthumously. His wife, I remember very well. His wife or his children, you know, went to collect it from the then president. And who else was it again? I think. In fact, we can start with those 2.
Yeah.
You know. So they were all dead when they got it. And now some people are now saying that is not. What's your immediate thought about that?
I have no issue with that. In fact, before I even go on that, you mentioned the Kiniwe. the running mate to Abiola, whether he should get or not, as some people are arguing. I believe you cannot give it to the late K.O. Abiola an award without recognizing the person who was paired with him in that race. So whether we like it or not, whatever we interpret his subsequent action to mean. I listened to somebody earlier today, the director of the campaign, the general of the campaign.
Yes.
The campaign. Is it Swingani, or I can't pronounce his
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Jonathan
I
something.
remember,
Yeah.
yes,
He was speaking in another platform today, saying that that whatever the part that the then running mate to Abiola served in Abacha's government was a decision that was arrived at on a consensus. That it was agreed that it's better, like Abiola himself would say, you can't bap somebody's head in the absence.
Exactly.
So
There,
in order to work with Abacha's government, who they believed that meant well in terms of, that they were given the impression that he was to restore that mandate, and so the man worked with him with the blessing of Abiola. That was what I was told. I was not in Nigeria then, so whether
it's going to be very difficult
but whether that is the case or not, I think that this you cannot give Abiola, not give to Kidinge for whatever. Not only that, we've given thieves award before. We've given kidnappers award before. I mean, in Nigeria, the people who have received the recipients of national awards have not just. They are not only people with halo, saints,
with different kind of background
and characters. So that's what. But then regarding what your second question about yes, it is important that this process is patiently and gradually seen through. That the president does what is right. I don't know how far he consulted people before he did this, but to be able to work with the National Assembly so that this is done and done well, so that we don't see in future.
It will not go to be at the whip and captives of anybody.
Of anybody that comes in.
So that comes in. All right, sounds good to me. Let's move gradually to another area that again, that ongoing, trending. That an average Nigerian is confused. They don't know what to do. They are thinking, can this be right? We're talking about the case of the Senate President and the office of his of presidency of the Senate, the number 3 citizen in the country, where it is in the public domain now that his name was linked or connected or mentioned, whichever one you want to use out of this word. Yes, it is said, and as of now, unless otherwise I checked late night news, that he has been charged. The one we had last, that he has been asked to give a written statement and say, well, we heard that your name was mentioned of a robbery. But for me as a layman, even though I have a legal background or whatever, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think if name of the number 3 citizen of a great country like Nigeria is mentioned? This kind of thing, and the police now say we have enough reasons. It's not something we can just wave by the wayside like that. We have enough reasons to ask His Excellency to write down his statements. And you know what? When you say statements by police, it's a very powerful because you never know what they have against your statement and how they're going to use it against you. So, what are your immediate thoughts? What do you think is going on?
My thought regarding this Saraki saga, or my first reaction is to broaden the discussion, to broaden the subject matter. Because what is biting us now didn't start today.
It's a build-up, so something that is.
Yes, not just about Shagari. Saraki. I'm looking wider than that. We have a situation where, for you to, I don't know if it's a product of the cultism that has so infested the university and education system, so that you have people who come out as prominent people, tough people, high-profile people, that have shady backgrounds. For you to win the election, you have to have thugs, just all over the place, all over the country. That hardly you get any prominent, well-connected politicians that has no just army of ruffians, at the beck and call. Now, with that said, so Shagari, what am I saying? Shagari, Saraki, Sakari,
Saraki. That's fine.
Yeah, Saraki obviously has his own talk, because remember he comes from a very strong political dynasty. To talk about his father, it reminds me of the Adedibu of Oyo State.
Yes.
Now, but then obviously with these thugs and militiamen and surrounding politicians, of course they are armed, they are given things, they are incentivized to do whatever their political masters want them to do. But connecting that to offer robbery, I find that difficult. Now, obviously, if his name was mentioned, he need to clear his name. Number 3 or number 1, I don't care what number it is. I mean, so if his name was mentioned, yes, by all means, we ask person to answer, go ahead and answer it. But I personally do not think that robbery, where 33 or so people died, that he commissioned it. Okay, that would be hard to sell. But in terms of whether some of those people, some of those characters involved, got incentivized or got whatever be from him as part of their whatever contract he has with them. Within the premises of this this thuggery and the banditry that we have tolerated in our polity over the decades. Within that, if his name is mentioned, obviously, I would not be surprised. But regarding offer robbery, I don't think he said go and rob.
Well,
for what?
Well, so far, like I said, as of today, I don't know if that has been said by anybody. But I think the area that is bordering an average common man, you just mentioned one of them, this business of thuggery in politics, because I find it difficult to connect it. I don't know why anybody would choose to fund thuggery instead of empowering them to do something positive for the nation. Now, having said that, the other area that concerns me, do you think with this kind of allegation going on, I know it might be difficult to factor in the setting here in a civilized country where once your name is mentioned that there's a brawl, Tesco, Morrison, and you are an MP. Then you just turn around and say, you go to your constituency and say, I'm sorry. The Japanese will start bowing and say, I'm sorry. I discovered that I did not have enough money and I was caught at the tube station, which is not stealing money. But we now have this huge amount of criminality linked to very important personal politics. Do you think we can factor in the convention of sitting down there or not thinking that let me go? Why are we not doing things like that?
Because it has not been part of our political history or political culture. Nigeria, people don't resign. People don't resign voluntarily if their names are mired or one scandal or the other. They don't resign. So Therefore, it would be a bit unfair to expect him to be the first to do so, unless out of personal principle he decides to do so. But in Nigeria, people don't do that. So, rather, what we have is that people who wish that he jumps, he jumps off the seat for political interest or personal interest. So I would not expect him to commit political suicide. I understand what you're saying. In ideal situation, he should. In a saner climate, one would expect him to. Even if he's innocent, your name may have been mentioned, then obviously go do something like clear your name.
Because we have a long list of situations like that here.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important people in governments of whether the conservative, labor.
But Nigeria we don't have that.
Yeah, but then now I now want to say this, and it's an issue for me that if 109 of them senators.
Yeah.
So are we saying the 109 senators have no moral compass to even listen and say,
no, I wouldn't say that,
Mr. President,
you can go. You should
this
go.
is not good for
the image of
your office, and also for us. So we can't find. What are you saying? Is it because of the inherent that is intrinsic in us, that our culture?
The thing is, I remember when
we do not respect the office.
I remember when this man nearly lost his seat over Lewinsky, Clinton.
Yeah.
President, #1, most powerful president in the world.
Yeah.
Right. People say, "Oh, you should do this." But in Nigeria, I mean, can you imagine a president resigning because he slept with a girl? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would have loved my nation to be that ethically sensitive. But alas, it's not. So I would not therefore impose that moral burden on a particular person.
You don't want it to start with anybody?
No.
Are you advocating that this should continue,
no,
even though you...
No, I'm not saying it should continue. But you see, if as a whole, let's say, let me give an example. If, for example, let's say, next election, the people of, is it Kogi? Where does it come from?
It's come from Kwara.
Kwara, sorry. Yeah, Kwara, Kwara. His constituency says we are appalled about what you've been associated with. We're not voting you back in. He will not be the president next time. So in other words, these people we see there, we might complain all we like, but they represent the value system or the values we have come to adopt. They represent us. I'm sorry. That's why they keep winning.
Yeah, because it's cheaper for them. But don't forget also part of the factor that's made most of our politicians win and over again. You alluded to issue of thuggery in politics, because as far as they are concerned, they think the tools they can be used to coerce to make people fear and vote for them.
Okay.
Is to apply terror.
Yes.
Which I think is not only morally corrupt, it is also unjust.
It's reprehensible.
Now, well, it's all right. Like I said, I'm sure we are yet to get to the end of this, because as it is, he has gone to submitted his written statement, and I'm sure the police with their legal department are working on.
Yeah, again, I would say that also. Again, another problem is that because we have this arrangement where the president has power of life and death. The president controls the president, whoever president that is, controls the police, controls the military, controls everything. So the police will not move unless at the signal of the president, whether it's overt or tacit. Okay. Now that's a problem, and because of that, you don't trust even the police in terms of what they are doing now. But if we have a situation where the institutions are allowed to run without interference, as a measure of autonomy or independence, then crime is crime, regardless of who is implicated. So the police can do their job, and whatever they find is whatever they find, and whoever is caught faces whatever the comeuppance, the consequences. So, but alas, we are not there. So we have a situation where no matter one's level of crime, one's involvement in the kind of crime one is involved with, if the president does not give the go ahead, the police does nothing, the DSS does nothing, the different security agencies, EFCC do not.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that a primitive way of governance?
It is terrible, but that's what we've got, and we don't seem to be enough agitated enough to want to change it, so that when somebody, I remember when Jack Straw, when Jack, the child was called, whatever, the man, as I think it was Home Secretary, drove the boy down to the police station, go and answer.
In fact, the same thing with the former Prime Minister
Blair. Exactly.
Blair, where his son was, was taken to police station, found drinking or that.
Exactly.
And he went there as an ordinary citizen, and he got there. He has to sign the form and pay the rule. Now, all right, okay. Let's move to another trending issues, which is also oncoming. I mean, ongoing, but the future election of in Nigeria to all different levels, categories, the presidency, governor, the House of Reps, Senate, states, and so on and so forth, up to the last one at the world level. I mean, the world level. It seems like this time around it's not going to be the same scenario in 2014-15, where there were two giants. There were two political parties fighting, and one, of course, one defeated the other. And again, part of that is also history now. Presently, as we speak, there are many challenges, very, very unusual. Is it because we have grown, we have moved on? Are we developing so fast that we now have a long list of candidates who want to challenge the incumbent? We have the like of Ali Soyode of Ben TV, we have Kingsley Ogalu, we have Showore, we have Tokpe Fasua, we have many others, Babalola. There's so many people declaring they want to run. Let's take it one by one. What is your mediator? What will you say? What will you be saying to them?
Well, democracy. They have the right to come out, but you mentioned the 2014, 2015.
Yes.
We have to. We were able to change government from one party to another because there was this amalgamation that formed the APC. If not, PDP would have still been there today.
Yes.
So with these different parties that have just mushroomed,
we have about 68.
Yes. I don't know. First of all, the logistics. I don't know what ANEC would do. I don't know what kind of a mat or exercise book or a booklet. I don't know how that can be conducted in terms of the ballot papers and all that.
I think it's also confusing.
Very confusing. But the good thing is that I think these people coming out, I don't think they will make much impact. Because yes, some of them have not been tried, they have not been tested. Ideally, yes, you should, I don't know if it's again as a result of military intervention, maybe if they allowed the Second Republic to continue, or even the First Republic to subsist up to now, maybe anybody, people who have political interest from secondary school or from university can just maybe filter into different parties and be mentored and cut their teeth from world level, local government. In fact, even going about with politicians and helping them to push their leaflets, then that would have been a way of learning.
You mean these people should be trained Should be
what I'm saying that
allowed to
I
go
wish that they went through the mill.
Okay.
I wish so that they learn the trade and then maybe be coalesced into some kind of structure. But they're there.
Prepare for the job.
Exactly. Now they're all coming out with good intentions, with some of them with nice ideas, great ideas actually. But I don't think they will make an impact. However, again, in as much as I cannot prevent anybody from coming out, I also salute the fact that they are raising consciousness. I think 2023 will be interesting. Yeah, 2029. I think we still have one party.
If you were to advise these people together, what will you be saying to them?
I would say to them, they should think about working with one another. Okay,
Join forces.
Join forces if they want to. If and by so doing, they also streamline their policies, their agenda, so that let the best of the same faith, let them flock together, so that we and with a coherent message and coherent structure, and spread. A spread that is considerable spread anyway. That's my advice. One. Number two, I will also say that whatever parties that is coming up, they should not just fizzle out after 2019, but some of them will not make an impact. But they should again coalesce and consolidate towards 2023 and beyond, so that we begin to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parties like in the Second Republic that are solid on the ground, and parties don't just emerge anyhow.
It evolves. Yeah.
It evolves, and I want to see that, and that's why personally, I used to. I'm not an active supporter of ACN, but I wish them well. But the way we don't
have ACN anymore.
I know in those days, because they started from Lagos. From there, was it AD or AD, and then Lagos from there.
I know it's AD.
Yeah, that was that AC.
No, not AC. AD.
AD, yes, AD, and then ACN, and then they only had Lagos. And of course, I don't remember.
Even the prediction of some people sarcastically is that they're about to die, and
exactly.
They
eventually they had some states they were southwest, including Edo. And I was saying, my God, just give it time. In fact, let them work with other like Abba. Then of course CPC and the rest is we have APC. My problem then is that. I knew that they were like their metamorphosis was incomplete, and that's why we're still seeing the problem, the fracas now. I just want parties to evolve. I know we're in haste, but again, they say make haste slowly. Yeah. So that's my advice to this people.
Yeah. If you say we're in a haste, my contra opinion about that is. Still, some of us who are supposed to be in the business of helping to build the nation, they are very busy destroying the nation. And for me, they know exactly what they are doing. And this is also a big problem in the sense that here we have some of our elites who are very busy depleting the patrimony, the commonwealth of the nation, using it to benefit their own, their own self. Whatever, using it to buy properties abroad.
Yes.
Not investing the money to help the people in worry, to empower ordinary the youth and so on and so on in Ibadan or somewhere in Kano. They keep people permanently in poverty and penury. Because it's cheaper for them to come again and again to buy them at ongoing rates. Because I think it's sad to note that giving anybody. You must have taken the brains away.
Yes.
You must have taken the brains away, giving anybody 4,000 or 5,000 naira to suffer for 4 years.
Yes.
I think it's very sad. But here we go. Now, the other thing about 2019 election is, what will you be saying to? We know we don't want to start mentioning names. The large number of recycled politicians that are still believing that without them, Nigeria cannot move forward, even though they've been there, God knows, 50-something years, and they've not genuinely moved us forward, but they keep dragging us backwards, by making life for their own selves and their immediate family. What do you want to say to these recycled politicians?
Well, I don't really have anything to say to somebody who feels that their interest is bigger than Nigerians. I don't have anything. I have something to say to the rest of us. And that's why I'm saying that I don't mind these people, these are coming up. Not because, as I said, they may not make any impact, but it raises consciousness. At least they will say what they don't like, why they were coming up. Now, as for those people, I don't have anything to say to them other than to turn back to Nigerians and say, are you happy with what is happening? Before, I used to blame the leaders, and I still blame them, because I mean, the leaders are put there to bring about positive change and arrest decay and do what is necessary to move the nation forward. But I also begin to also look at the so-called followers or led, even the people that use poverty as an excuse. Because as a Nigerian child growing up, I have seen some poor men, illiterate men and women. If you went to them when I was growing up to say, look, okay, you are so poor, I want this your child, I want to snatch this your child, they will fight you with they can bite you if they don't have any other thing to fight with. They can use their teeth to fight you. You are not taking my child away. I don't care how rich you are. But here we allow people in the name of poverty to cut away, make a way, or even give us a piece of yam, chicken, whatever, 500 naira, 5,000 naira, bag of rice, and then by accepting that such gift, we mortgage the future of our children and grandchildren. To the people who don't care, they don't see them after the election. I find that, so I look at the paper and say, are we okay as Nigerians? So I will not accept poverty as an excuse. I will not accept illiteracy as an excuse. And that's why I'm saying that anybody that coming to campaign, if they don't translate that what they're saying to Yoruba, Igbo, Pidgin English, explain, let the market woman understand you, let the villager, the farmer understand what I'm saying. If not, you have no business putting those people in. And that's why, again, I've strenuously campaigned against the use of masses, say, oh, the poor masses. That's so disempowering, disabling. I say, let us occupy the office of the citizens. Whether you are Mama Sikira that says Akara by the roadside, you are a citizen, and your vote matters.
Yes. So you mean that registering to vote this time around?
Register to vote as a citizen.
PVC as a citizen.
I don't like to say, oh, the poor masses, because when say poor masses, are you a mass? Am I a mass? And we know, no, we are citizens. So this idea of, oh, sorry, none of us, I'm telling Nigerians, no matter how educated or not educated, or how rich or poor you are not as impotent as you are made to believe.
Wow. Not as impotent as you are made to believe.
Yeah.
Because of time, I wish I could continue to engage you to come and talk, because I know how passionate you are. But when anything that got to do with developing or development of Nigeria, because of time, is usually the problem I have on this program and other programs I do. I really love to continue talking with you, but it's time to go. My producer has been sending to me messages, signals, and say you need to round up. Thank you for coming, and also viewers. I'm sure you will agree with me that here I am again, another edition of One-on-One with OtunbaHOO, and my guest tonight, Reverend Cyril Okere, whom I say, like I say, is a political analyst. He's also an activist, So I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, do not forget what we request you to do. All we're asking to do is share this program with all your friends and family, and you can use different methods by now, after this program, you can find us on YouTube. You can now forward it to as many people as possible, because there's a lot we have discussed tonight that I have no doubt in my mind that that's going to be beneficial to everybody. So YouTube, your WhatsApp, Instagram, Periscope, what is that? Facebook,
yes,
and every other thing. You can send messages to your friends and family. So enjoy it. So it's been another edition which I enjoy hosting. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.
Good night.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
Oya nínú ògo, Oya nínú ògo. LOC.
God bless you.
LOC.
God bless you.
LOC.
God bless you.
My people out there, our mother in Christ, Reverend Mother Dr. Esther Abimbola Ajayi, is asking us to come and celebrate the Comforter. Where? United States of America, 4041 Broadway, on Saturday, the 28th of July, 2018. Don't forget, 4041 Broadway, New York, United States of America. Come, let's celebrate the Comforter.